What's going on, everyone? So we have a very interesting article here. We got some video footage and everything covering Bobby SHIT Tech or Kotick. You guys will get what I mean if you know what's going on with this guy. He says some things that I think are very double standard and hypocritical, but I understand where he's coming from as a businessman. Obviously, he just wants to make the most money off of people too as well, and we'll get to that. But we know about the stuff that happened with this guy, knowing about the stuff he sat on for years at companies with the sexual harassment, rape allegations, all of that. I didn't say anything for 10 plus years. He's a terrible human being, but he knows how to make things successful, but also putting people in a miserable hell doing it though. He ruined the Call of Duty franchise to me, and we're going to talk about some things that are very important here. So he had a meeting with Satya Nadella. Um, and this goes back to the Activision acquisition. He also didn't like that. He also lost his seat of power too, which he deserved because, like I said, he was a terrible leader. When we talk about having a moral compass and making the industry and the workplace that he was at, feel, like an open, welcome area where light is at and all that type of stuff in harmony with him, that's he's like the devil in disguise. But reading into this, EX Activision CEO told Xbox to quit gaming, believes it lacks creativity. This is what he told Satya Nadella. You shouldn't be in gaming, you're not a creative company. And we're going to get into this. What I find funny is somebody that drove Call of Duty into a vampire scheming pit of reusing the same assets over and over again, making the same sports game every year, and making billions off of humanity. This guy, the one who makes this, turned Activision into a Call of Duty factory to become rich and made the same game over and over again. You're going to talk about creativity. He had all those IPs underneath him that he killed off just to turn them into a Call of Duty factory. On top of all the leadership failures that he had as well too. I get what he means when we talk about just a Halo Gears factory over and over again. Yeah, there's sometimes where Microsoft will monopolize, and you could see it. Yeah, man, if you're creative, oh man, you want to know who's really creative in the gaming industry? It's Nintendo. Everybody knows this. Sony does the same shit. You know what I mean? Both of them are liable for sometimes having. And I say Sony probably has the poorest vision when it comes to creativity. Microsoft at least innovates in a software sense. You know what I mean? Where it's like party chat. All the great things you see them doing. Sony follows suit with that. But yeah, this guy should be one of the last people talking about creativity. And I think people who've been around long enough know what I mean when it comes to Call of Duty with the same shit over and over every year with the same reused assets. And now they're using AI too. But let's go to this video right here. Let's take a look at what he says right here about what he believes here. And then we're going to go to another video with him that I found. Actually, no. Let's go to this one right here. Here's where it started. I'm going to get to this part.
Yeah, well, I remember Satya's first day. I happened to be up there, and we had like a half an hour together. And he said, "What can you tell me about gaming?" And I was like, "Dude, you shouldn't be in gaming. You're not a creative company. Like, you should buy Workday or something. Like SAP." Like,
I have to say, that's pretty damn blunt. You know what I mean? Not to say that that I'm looking at him as being wrong for that, but more like, are you not looking in the mirror when you say that? Because we got to be real here on in this channel. You guys know that I'm not going to sit here and try to kiss Microsoft's ass or try to say, if he says something that's true, I'm not going to go against it just to, make people say, oh, because we're representing Xbox, or I'm coming here to defend Xbox, I'm going to defend and make up a lie for them. I'm not fake like that. That's why people follow me, because they know I'm genuine. You know what I mean? In a way, what he's saying is true in certain facts, but they've made a turnaround now because there's been a monopoly war. Now they have all these companies on their side that are creative, and they're trying to strengthen the Western forefront. And I like the Game Pass model because I think it's pro-consumer, and that's just the future. Digital stream cloud. Everyone's moving to that. Netflix showed everybody that's what it's about. Bobby Kotick's the type of person that wants people to stay stuck in an old world that's outdated and somehow still make as much money off of people as possible. He's good for running a business for a corporation. Like I say, he's like the devil in disguise, but as a human being, he's a terrible person. And he's also very hypocritical in his statements because, like I said, dude, you made Activision a Call of Duty factory. He used to have all types of IPs. But when you got in there, yeah,
Like you're not. It's not a creative DNA company, and and when he
he had a creative DNA company, and look what he did with it.
called to do the deal, I said the same thing to him. Like, you need us because you're not going to figure out gaming with what you have. But is this really the priority? And he said, we really like this. And I can't tell you the other thing that I pitched him because
Yeah, they do need Activision. They needed that for sure to become a top publisher. It definitely boosts them big time. There's no doubt about that. I think everybody in the world knows this. But Sony also needs them too. If this is what I'm trying to tell people, if Sony had the same amount of money as Microsoft, they would have tried to outbid them for that to have it and lock it as an exclusive. That's why I say that both of them lack creativity. Sony's a hardware manufacturing company. They were never in-house. Nintendo is the creativity of the gaming industry and some of the indie departments. Sega was too. When we're talking about people who actually have a console, but Sega went out. So then after that, it was just Nintendo. Microsoft came in creative, but then they lost their way a bit and made a stupid decision in the Xbox One era. At least they were growing off of their own games. But yeah, when we talk about creativity, yeah, obviously it's Nintendo. So remember, we be genuine here. Let's continue this though. We're gonna get to something else too.
it was confidential. But I had an idea that was a bigger idea, and he didn't want to go for that. But he liked this idea. And
80 billion is still bite sized.
it's not even consequential to the financials.
It's crazy. I always figured anything under 5% of your enterprise value is kind of a whim and an experiment.
But you know what? I would have been okay with Meta. I would have been okay with Amazon. Like any place where there's talent.
Right.
And I didn't think
Talent and a platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Microsoft doesn't need that because they're already richer than all of them. This was about making their gaming forefront stronger in a certain sense that makes them look rich as a gaming company under the Microsoft brand now. And it's not going to be having exclusives on Xbox and keeping it there. Nadalea saw that, so he was like, if we're going to talk about business, if we're making more money than Sony, then in a business sense, we're pleasing the investors the most because we're making the most money. We're making more money than them. And that's what it's going to be about now. Not going to be about hardware exclusives and just selling hardware. No, it's going to be about who's going to make the most money now. And he'll do whatever it means to do that. And that will piss off some people that want it to be Xbox only. And Phil Smith said he understands that, but there's nothing he can do about that. So we know that. That's for sure. He's about making the most money and screwing over the human beings. If you want that, yeah, he is the guy to hire for that. Look at what he did with Activision and Call of Duty. But it's the same shit every year, though, and a lot of people fell for it.
Nice to be connected to a platform.
And that goes without saying. But like talent to me was like something that was so important. And I also like founders. Satya is unusual as a CEO because he has founder mentality.
Yeah, he does.
That's a very hard thing to find in a professional
He also has
CEO.
teamwork mentality, which is pretty different from Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very,
That's why
very different.
That's why he's like that with having everybody be together in a unity. Like as I was saying in my video before with Satya Nadella, he has a different mindset than anybody else. He's a different type of individual. He would share his games with everyone else to make the most profit too. Obviously, it's still about business, but at the end of the day, he does have a unified mentality. He does. He's not like other people. He's a different type of breed. So that for sure is 100% correct. And I think his ways will work for that. So much better individual than you when we talk about being a human being. Now let's go over here to what he says about Game Pass.
And this is what I started to see. And it happened a few times before, but there wasn't resolve. So like Disney, Warner, Paramount, all the entertainment companies came in, did badly, exited quickly. And they did it like in Disney's case, like 4 or 5 times. We never had Chinese competitors.
Yeah. That's one thing I love about the gaming industry. You still can't buy your way to the top. That's why Disney left. Amazon, Google Stadia. All right. Remember, they all tried and then they realized it's not what you think. That's the thing I love about the gaming industry. It has a soul. You can't just come in and buy everything and get first place. If that was the case, Microsoft would be first place in hardware sales and all that, but that's not the way that it works. You see what I mean? It's a lot more complex than that. And that's a great thing.
Like this was a whole new thing. And it's like, where did these guys come from? And like, look at the work ethic and the capability. And, you know, Tencent, it's the biggest video game company in the world by a mile.
By a lot.
And they're in a market that we can't enter. I've seen the movie in Hollywood and I watched.
Yeah, but Tencent's very shady too, though. It's not like it's amazing heavenly creativity and all that. No, it's not what you think.
Every one of these Hollywood companies move to a subscription model on streaming and destroy all their value.
No, it's just the future. It's just the way things are working. They saw that. See what I mean? He wanted Hollywood to stay strong. Why is that good for human beings? That's why I tell you about this guy. He still wants that to work, and for you to overpay for every single Blu-ray, for you to pay for all these movies, for you to overfeed the beast and make as much money off of the human spectrum as you can. He's a vampire, and he's not a good person, but he knows how to run a business in that world, which is now fading. Good.
And I thought,
Not
same thing's
pro-consumer.
going to happen to us. Like, I was really worried that not just that the business model was going to get attacked, which that's obvious. And like that was the only disagreement. We got the deal done in 3 days. And the only disagreement we had over like the future of the operation of the business was Game Pass. And I said to them, like,
Game Pass is up one price for all subscription of otherwise $60 games.
You're saying an unlimited subscription from Microsoft for any game.
Yeah, and my view is like, we have a game called World of Warcraft that we have $15 a month. If you
For one game.
Yeah, why would I put that into a Game Pass?
But that was Blizzard's work overuse. You came in and looked at that. It's not like you had anything to do with that. They said they were miserable under you. Everything was actually devaluing, and Call of Duty was the only thing making the most money. It's like Call of Duty Factory, same reused assets over and over again, same thing over and over again every year. That's why I said, what are you talking about when it comes to creativity?
Yes.
You know, where it's like with Spotify, where suddenly you get 50 cents a month.
Right.
And
It's for the best.
Yeah, and I said to these guys, like, it's why trade out flexible business models where you can do what's actually in the best interest of the customer. You look at like Candy Crush, Candy Crush, we only monetize 2% of the audience. Model. And it's, when we added ads, we added another $400 million of operating income in 2 years. Like, why would you, and like,
And why would you give it all away for one price?
You wouldn't. But I didn't believe in that. But the beauty of your Microsoft is like, you can take that bet.
Correct. They can. And there was a pro-consumer balance with it, something he never thinks about. He didn't care. Said that statement about the customer. Dude, get out of here. You milked the people for a decade plus after the 360 era. Actually, more than that, 12, 14 years releasing the same thing, making it a yearly release because you were making so much money. And that means you're making a game so quick. Like, you know what I mean? Activision got turned into a COD factory. Everybody said the same thing about him when he left. So, yeah, I'm not buying that. But, yeah, man, he just came straight up to him and said that statement. Told them to quit gaming. Believes it lacks creativity. That's interesting. So that's why I kind of wanted to highlight this. Let me know what y'all think about this. Like, comment and subscribe. This is something professional that I wanted to cover here because I get what he's saying. But then we had to dive into what are you talking about? You're the one that needed to quit because you were a terrible leader. you had no creativity in Activision running. Microsoft's making turnarounds. They can do these bets, and it's going to work in the long term. So that's my thing about this. Now, I don't agree with telling them to quit gaming. I think that's stupid. But at one point, we can agree on this. See, we're genuine over here. And the people that are with you are going to be with you. You know what I mean? It's not like, I want childish people following me. No, we understand that. But you don't think Sony has this problem? They do. All right, y'all. Stay being genuine. Peace out. Gamers, you know what's up.